Welcome to the Chromperfect Beginner Series. This structured training program is designed for new users who want to become confident and operational with Chromperfect as quickly and clearly as possible. The series is divided into focused modules, grouped into logical chapters. Each module builds on the previous one, guiding you step by step through the core structure, workflow, and data processing fundamentals of the system. Series context. This series assumes that Chromperfect is already installed and licensed, that at least one instrument is configured, and that communication is functioning correctly. Installation, driver configuration, and hardware troubleshooting are covered separately and are not part of this series. This is the first video in the series, and you will learn how Chromperfect data acquisition is structured internally, and why understanding the relationship between the service and the client is important before acquiring data. Let's begin by answering the most fundamental question. What is Chromperfect? Chromperfect is a chromatography data system. It manages instrument communication, data acquisition, data processing, calibration, reporting, and structured data storage within a controlled software environment. At the heart of data acquisition. At its core, Chromperfect data acquisition and instrument communication is divided into two primary components: the Chromperfect Service, or CP-AC service, and the Client, or CP-AC client. Understanding this separation is critical before collecting data. The Chromperfect Service is the background engine of the system. It runs at the operating system level as a Windows service and is responsible for instrument communication, data acquisition, and maintaining active run control. The service operates independently of the user interface. It normally starts automatically with Windows. However, it can be started, stopped, or restarted using the Windows Service applet, which can be opened by clicking on the search bar and typing Services. If the client is closed, the service can continue managing an active run. The service must be running for the client to operate. If the client is opened when the service is not running, a message will appear instructing the user to start the service, as shown on screen. If this message is displayed, the service must be started manually using the Windows Services applet. If the service is stopped, instrument communication and data acquisition will not occur. The service does not need to run on the local PC and can be connected to any client on the network. We will cover this a little more later. The client is the user interface that you interact with when collecting data with Chromperfect. It behaves like a regular Windows application and is accessed by first opening the Chromperfect main menu, then clicking on Run. The client has two main interface elements, the Status tab and the Selection tab. These are easily identified by the different background colors. The client is where you select methods and sequences, view real-time chromatogram plots, and enter file and sample names. It also is where data processing information is selected, such as setting the data destinations for each instrument. The client does not directly control the instrument hardware. Instead, it sends instructions to the service. When you initiate a run, the client passes the method and instrument control instructions to the service. The service then communicates with the instrument and manages acquisition. Why the separation exists. Chromperfect separates the service from the client to ensure stability and controlled operation. If the user interface is closed or restarted, the service can continue running in the background. This reduces the risk of interrupting an active analysis. It also ensures that instrument communication remains stable, even if the user interface experiences an issue. This architectural separation is fundamental to how Chromperfect operates. Although not covered in this series, this architecture is incredibly powerful because a client on a local computer can connect to multiple servers anywhere on the network, meaning users in a large Chromperfect installation have complete visibility of the entire Chromperfect systems, even across multiple different sites and locations. What happens during a Chromperfect run? When a run is started, the client sends the active method and instrument control instructions to the service. The service communicates with the instrument and begins data acquisition. Acquired data is written to disk as raw data files. Later, that data can be processed and saved as BND files. File structure and data processing will be covered in later modules. For now, focus on the direction of control. Client to service, service to instrument, instrument back to service, service to data storage. A common beginner misunderstanding is assuming that closing the client stops Chromperfect. It does not. If a run is active, the service continues managing acquisition in the background. Closing the client does not terminate the service. Understanding this distinction prevents confusion during operation. Structured summary. Chromperfect is divided into two core components, the service and the client. The service manages acquisition and instrument communication. The client is the user interface. The client sends instructions to the service. The service communicates with the instrument and writes acquired data to disk. This architecture ensures stability and controlled acquisition. The separation between client and service also allows for distributed and remote data acquisition for network installations of Chromperfect. This structure defines how Chromperfect data acquisition operates internally. Next module. In the next module, we will examine instrument status states and how they reflect communication between the service and your instrument. Understanding status states builds directly on the architecture defined here. This has been Module 1.1 of the Chromperfect Beginner Series. Continue through the series in order, as each module builds on this foundation. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the thumbs up button so you are notified when we upload new Chromperfect training videos. For more information or to reach out to our team, please visit our website at www.chromperfect.com.